So we've got a gearbox sent here from Ontario. It's a 1.2. It says new, noisy, needs rebuild. Now the guy said it came from Britpart, and Britpart said it was an Ashcroft one, but I know it isn't an Ashcroft one. We'll have a look at the casings later because it's got different stamps on. I've just filled it up with oil. And it's been running a little while, but it doesn't seem to get warm like the other ones. I don't know why that is. Anyway, let's spin it up. Now I do have problems sometimes with gears in the heat. Sorry about that, I was looking for the camera. But if I spin it up fast, take off. You can hear it's a bit whiny. So what have we got? I don't know. So what we're going to do now, what time is it now? It's lunchtime now. Wasted all time with that bloody Range Rover this morning. So what we'll do is we'll take this off, take the drain off the oil, take it down and put it on the bench. And we'll see what's wrong with it. And then we'll need some parts. It's got real flanges on it. But I don't know. That feels tight. Really tight. It shouldn't be that tight without any gears in it. We shall see. Maybe it just needs resetting. Morning, this is the next day looking at this transfer case. I've got it apart. Nothing much really to report. I'm just a bit puzzled as to what it is. It's a 1.211 ratio, but it seems to be mixed up of all sorts of bits and pieces. It's not an original. I think they've made it to be a TD5 1.2 instead of 1.4. The reason why I'm thinking that is these casings have all got numbers and date stamps on them. And this one, the date stamp is 1993 for the casing. For the housing here, it's a 1998. And I had a look at something else and there was another date on it, but this piece here, this was 1996, so it's been made out of bits and pieces, which isn't a really bad thing, I don't suppose, but I couldn't really find any fault with it. All the bearings have been changed. All the bearings are Timken bearings, which is good, but it did seem rather tight, so I wonder if it's been shimmed up too tight, making noise. I'm not sure. But when we get little bits and pieces like this here, you know, there's a bearing in there. Look, it's really nice. There's no sort of loose play or anything like that. This bit's been replaced for some reason. I don't know why. But this is, like I said, TD5 type because it's, well, or is it? Is it? Yeah, it must be. Because this is where you put the switch on for your computer to switch it between high and low. And that's about it really. This is, you know, still the same, but the switch gives it away here, so it is a later one. I inspected all the bearings and things like this, looked inside, and all I found was one little piece of shaving here. Now, was that left over from time before? I don't know. But where has it come from? I don't know. The one thing I didn't like was the bushing for here. It's okay, but not good. It's chattered. Yeah, it's chattered in there. Now, I just got this one back from JP yesterday, and you can see what we do. It's cold outside. It's frozen in. You make a press fit bush, like a little top hat bush, press that in, but at the same time what JP does for us, he salvages the pins and just machines them round again, because sometimes they get elongated, and it's amazing when you put them on the grinder to see how off they actually are. So that bush is going to be a lovely nice fit onto there with the O-ring, and it'll never leak again, I can guarantee that. Also this particular, well, let's put that back into there and get this out of the way. Right, what I was going to say, now this particular gearbox here, this is the shaft out of it. They've put new O-rings on here, but I want you to notice here that when you see the shaft's actually good, it's parallel, but I want you to take note of this shiny bit here and the shiny bit on the opposite side. The reason for that is the gear is tipping over, and instead of the bearings here, right, we're going to put a bearing on if we can. Like I say, everything's different temperature now. Right, so instead of the bearing turning like just on the rollers, so this middle bit's stationary, this outer bit's, the inner bit's turning. That's how it gets polished. It's not the end of the world because this one's quite good. The reason for that is our old friend, this bush here. This is collapsible spacer. Now, has this been over tightened? I really don't know, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do just for fun, because I don't put these in, I put the solid tubes in, and JP and I, we work out what the resistance is, you know, and then we make a solid tube so the tension's correct. I've found out these tubes here are nothing but a problem because they don't compress properly. But let me go and get me my caliper and we'll work this out. Right, so if we measure one side, it's 5914. We measure the opposite side, it's 5948. You get it? It's not parallel. Kaput. Is that the cause of the problem? I don't know, but like I say, we don't do that. We don't use those bushes now. And we found out our system of just making a solid sleeve makes the assembly a lot easier because you don't have to bother with torque wrenches and stuff like that. Everything's good. So I really don't know what to do. I'm going to have a talk with Doug in a minute and see what he wants to do. He said he wanted it rebuilding, but I don't know what exactly to change. I mean, it's a shame to knock the bearings out and change them. Problem, isn't it? Like I say, we get the casings now all bushed. For my jobs, I get them all bushed anyway, and then they're not going to leak. That would leak after about another year or so. That would start to leak. All the seals are the proper seals, are not Chinese jobbery ones. But why it was making that, you know, being a bit noisy, I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll phone Doug and we'll see what happens.